Good evening, dear friend. Welcome back to Story Nest. Tonight I would like to share a gentle story about a quiet village where every evening began with the warm glow of a single lantern. So, settle into your favorite blanket. Take one slow, comfortable breath in and let it gently flow out again. As you listen, allow your thoughts to become as soft as drifting clouds. Our story begins just as the sun says goodnight to the world. At the edge of a peaceful lake, hidden among rolling hills and ancient pine trees, there rested a tiny village that few travelers ever found. It was not marked on most maps. It had no grand castles, no bustling markets, no noisy streets. Instead, it was a place where evenings arrived slowly, almost as if time itself enjoyed lingering there. Small cottages stood beneath climbing ivy. Flower gardens swayed gently in the evening breeze. Stone paths curved quietly between little homes whose windows reflected the last golden rays of sunlight. Every evening, just before the first star appeared, something very special happened. The entire village became wonderfully still. Children finished their games. Birds tucked themselves into leafy branches. Cats stretched lazily before curling into warm windowsills. Even the wind seemed to whisper more softly because everyone knew it was almost time for the lantern keeper. Far beyond the last cottage stood a little wooden house with a moss-covered roof. Wildflowers danced around its tiny garden. A narrow chimney released gentle curls of white smoke into the cool evening air. Inside lived an old man with kind eyes and silver hair. No one could remember exactly how old he was. Some believed he had always lived there. Others smiled and said perhaps the moon itself had sent him long ago. Every evening, without ever missing a single day, he carefully prepared for his quiet journey. He polished each lantern until its glass sparkled like morning dew. He trimmed every small wick with patient hands. Then he filled each lantern with warm, golden oil that shimmered like liquid sunlight. Finally, he placed them inside a little wooden cart. The wheels were old, the wood was worn smooth, but the cart never squeaked. It rolled as quietly as falling leaves. As the sky slowly changed from blue to violet, the lantern keeper placed his soft brown hat upon his head. He wrapped a cozy wool scarf around his shoulders. Then, with a peaceful smile, he stepped outside. The evening welcomed him with cool air scented by pine trees and lavender. Somewhere nearby, a cricket began singing its nightly song. Far above, clouds drifted lazily across the growing sky. The lantern keeper reached into his pocket and removed a tiny silver key. It fit only one lantern, the very first lantern. Standing beside the gate of his cottage was an old iron lamppost. He unlocked the little glass door, struck a single match, and touched the flame gently to the waiting wick. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, a soft, golden light bloomed inside the lantern. Warm, gentle, peaceful. It was never bright enough to chase away the darkness. Instead, it simply welcomed it, as if saying, "Come, the night is safe here." The old man smiled. He always smiled at the first lantern, because every evening, every peaceful night, every beautiful dream always began with one tiny light. Slowly he pulled his little wooden cart along the winding stone path toward the village. The wheels rolled softly over smooth stones. The lanterns inside chimed together with quiet little sounds. Tiny golden reflections danced across the path. As he reached the first cottage, an elderly woman opened her window. She smiled warmly. "Good evening." The lantern keeper tipped his hat. "Good evening." No more words were needed. He simply lifted another lantern, lit its tiny flame, and hung it beneath the porch roof. Instantly, the little cottage glowed with comforting warmth. The woman closed her eyes for just a moment. She always said the first lantern helped her remember happy things, the smell of fresh bread, the laughter of her grandchildren, the songs her mother once sang. Whether that was true, no one really knew, but everyone agreed. The lanterns made the evenings feel softer, calmer, kinder, house by house, corner by corner, bridge by bridge. The lantern keeper continued his peaceful walk. Each lantern carried the same gentle glow, not too bright, not too dim, just enough to remind every traveler that they were never truly alone. Across the quiet lake, tiny ripples reflected dozens of golden lights. The water looked as though someone had scattered handfuls of stars upon its surface. High above, the first real star finally appeared, then another and another. Soon the sky blossomed with quiet constellations, watching everything below. From the tallest pine tree near the village, a small owl quietly observed the lantern keeper's evening walk. His name was Oliver. Every night he watched from the same branch. Every night he wondered, why did the lantern keeper smile every single evening, even when no one was watching, even when it rained, even when thick winter snow covered every rooftop? Tomorrow, Oliver decided, he would gently follow the lantern keeper, not to interrupt, not to ask questions, only to discover why such a simple evening seemed to fill the whole village with peace. The moon slowly climbed higher into the velvet sky. The last lantern flickered softly beside the little stone bridge. The lantern keeper looked around the village one final time. Every path glowed, every cottage shimmered warmly, every window reflected peaceful golden light. He nodded quietly to himself. His work for the evening was done. Somewhere a child yawned, a cat purred. The wind carried the scent of pine needles across the sleeping lake, and little by little the village drifted into gentle dreams. And so, as the stars watched over the quiet world, every heart found its peaceful place. Close your eyes, take one slow, gentle breath, and let the warm glow of the lantern stay with you as you rest. Good night, dear friend, and I'll see you again